A proposal by ODM Leader Raila Odinga to do away with the duplicate registration process for voters and instead use the civil registry by the National Registration Bureau is quickly gaining support from stakeholders who say that aside from avoiding a redundant process, the proposal will cut on costs. On this week's episode of Politics and Power, NTV's senior reporter Ibrahim Karanja breaks down this proposal, deeply assessing its opportunities and its threats.
I, Erastus Edung Ethekon, having been appointed...
With Kenya's new Electoral Commission now 13 days in office and following their indicated willingness to listen to and in some cases adopt proposals aimed at enhancing the voting process, bold proposals are being made, proposals that could fundamentally redefine the voter registration process. ODM leader Raila Odinga is amongst those making proposals. His being very simple yet so profound.
People should actually you just use an ID as your register. I mean, there's no reason why you should be having a different voter's card and you have an ID. People should vote with their IDs.
By this, Odinga says that it will allow every Kenyan holding a valid national identity card to automatically qualify as a registered voter without being compelled to undergo a separate and often weary registration process administered by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC.
And just give people IDs, because there are areas where people don't have IDs, and that's why the voter register is skewed.
According to Odinga, this proposal addresses the perception that current voter registration is a duplication and an unnecessarily costly affair. The proposal has quickly gained support from some quarters in the opposition, among them DAPK leader Eugene Wamalwa. The Elections Observation Group ELOG is in agreement with the proposal.
Why not harmonize them? And then now we all focus on ensuring that the government delivers on that. So that if it's about the distribution across the country, it's about getting Northeastern members to be given or issued with IDs, or anybody who turns 18 in this country who is a bona fide citizen of this country. We should all be able to scrutinize that particular process. I think for me, the emphasis should be on making the government accountable. We don't have to pay twice.
But what would implementing such a policy require?
The roles much more defined in terms of it is the one who's supposed to be ensuring the voter registration. I think by dint of parliament and parliamentary initiative, they can be able to make the necessary changes to start the harmonization. So in that particular regard, it can be a plug and play.
According to the constitutional provisions on representation of the people, Clause C of Article 82, which is on legislation on elections, provides that Parliament shall enact legislation to provide for the continuous registration of citizens as voters. Article 83 on registration of voters, aside from stating that an adult citizen, one that has not been declared to be of unsound mind, and one who has not been convicted for an election offence in the preceding 5 years is qualified for registration as a voter at elections or referenda, further provides in sub-article 3 that administrative arrangements for the registration of voters and the conduct of elections shall be designed to facilitate and shall not deny an eligible citizen the right to vote or stand for election. The IEBC, in its constitutional establishment, is responsible for the continuous registration of citizens as voters and the regular revision of the voters' roll. These provisions basically making it a parliamentary legislative responsibility to effect or not to effect the proposals.
There will be details they want to tighten so that it makes sense for IBC to be able to use the data that is coming from the other side. But the data is nevertheless available anyway, whether it's through the census, whether it is through the registration process of the executive. That process and that data can actually, it's a question of saying which one do we want. Even if it's about deaths, they are provided and they'll be able to validate that information for purposes of ensuring that they have a clean register of votes.
I would say there have been proposals in terms of electoral reforms. This is one area that actually electoral reforms that had been proposed. can be looked at. And we don't need dialogue to agree on this. These are policy matters. And the relevant ministry can actually generate a policy in that direction.
Beyond the convenience, there is a financial angle. Significantly lowering election administrative costs could redirect resources into voter education, election monitoring, and infrastructural investments. If adopted, the move could mark a significant step towards streamlining electoral logistics, but it also raises crucial questions about feasibility.